Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'm Courtney and I hope you are doing so very well. So let us get down to a journal with me using the Brimble Box. As you can see, I'm just sort of playing with some photographs that I found, a little picture of my little ones, my teacup humans, and this was 7 years ago, this little picture, and it just makes my heart beat a little bit faster to think that time is just rushing through our fingertips. So I decided to commemorate the 7 years in this little spread. Now, the focus of this journal with me is that when you get things in subscription boxes or when you get things from the store, anything, nothing is set in stone. So I'm taking a Project Life card that Anna made herself and taking some of the little sentences and creating a poem. So I know they're meant for sort of like phrases on photographs and stuff, but I really love using little tiny words to create poetry. And obviously some of the things that I wanted weren't on there, so I had to cut other things up to make it work. Do not be afraid to alter things so that they can be used the way you want them to be used. You're the creator, you're the boss, so just keep that in mind. Nothing is set in stone, and that's the tone that I use for this whole thing. That even though some things, wouldn't work, I made a way to make them work in my journal with me. If there seems like there's long pauses between things, it's because as I was creating this video, I was talking to my mum on Skype, which is a regular occurrence for me when I'm journaling. If I know that I don't need to talk in a video, but I know I'm doing a voiceover, I will call her and I will chat because it takes the pressure off me. Sometimes when it's just all filming, all concentration, I freeze up. So in order to feel more free and more natural, I call my mum and have a chat while I journal, which is one of my favorite things to do, and I'm glad that I get to do that. As you can see on the right side of the desk is all the offcuts that didn't quite make it into the poem, and I will re-stick them back onto the sticker sheets when I tidy up the little storm that I created on the desk. But yes, they will get used, they won't get discarded, they just didn't seem to fit into my remembrance poem for my little minions. If you didn't notice, this is my volume 4 insert, so that means that a flip video is imminent, guys. It is coming. I just have a few more writing pages to catch up on in volume 3, but all the pages are done, so there will be a flip. And as you can see in this video, I pulled those flowers off from the Dear Lizzie set, and I want to use them and I couldn't work out how to use them. They were a bit too big, so I decided that I would cut them up and make them work for me. And I was hesitant to do it just in case I was making the wrong move, but I went with my gut, and I'm really happy that I got to rearrange the bouquet that suited my spread more than if I'd left it as is. I love the way the leaves tied in with the bouquet, so I decided to add them to the page. And later on, I felt like I needed to do something to make it all join up, and you'll see what I do. But I incorporate that leaf pattern into the page a little bit later on to make everything sort of more harmonious that way. The last line on my little poem card was "I was made for you," and I decided that I wanted to mimic that last line and put that on the opposite page. So I took one of Anna's stickers that was relating to summer, and I made the same sort of sentence on the opposite page. So once again, if it doesn't work for you, there are ways to change it and make it work for you. And I wanted to make sure that I used some of Anna's things that she created in the spread as well, because that's the whole point of this video. One way to make things look a little bit more cohesive is to outline them in a pen. It's one of my favorite things to do. If I stick something down, I'll scribble little lines around it to sort of join it up and make it not so disjointed. And so it doesn't feel like I've just plopped this element on the page and I haven't just plopped this element on the page. The pen work kind of makes it more one. And I'm always trying to make it look like all my spreads are just one thing, not a conglomerate of things that I've grabbed from here and there and just glued to a page. And I think that skill takes a little bit of time, but just keep practicing it and it'll come to you as well. I think in this journal insert, I want to experiment a bit more with style and color and try and really push myself to use things I wouldn't normally use and see if there's something that I like. As you see in my flip, a lot of my color palette is very, very similar. It is a color palette I'm known for, but I also want to spend some time experimenting in my journal and just finding out if there are different color palettes that I enjoy. I don't want to be a one-trick pony, and so I decided that this insert would be a way for me to play with different looks, different styles, different colors. So expect some different things from me in the next few journal with me as I just experiment and play. Now, you just saw me use a huge chunky water-soluble graphite pencil, and I've had this in my stash for years, and I only pulled it out this morning for a Patreon video, and it was sitting on my desk, and I thought, why not? So in order to cover up that stark white bit of the page, I wanted to incorporate that grey from the leaf and just sort of bring that in to sort of make it less white, if you know what I mean. So now I'm deciding how I'm going to go about the next element, and I think this is where I decide that I want to mimic those leaves and hand draw them myself, just to sort of bring that journaling spot down the bottom in with everything else. So I add my own leaves and try and, copy the leaves that are in the stickers so they look like they were meant to be there. I'm using a light grey Pitt Artist pen, if you're wondering. They're really, really lovely and very fast becoming one of my favourite pens, and I think I want to collect them all Pokemon style. for small little details. And I'm using that huge chunky water-soluble pencil again to create a journaling box. And I really like the addition of borders and making your own sort of journaling spot. That's another thing that I've actually really started loving doing, is creating a spot, a specific spot for journaling. And I kind of like doing it in the dark grey, and I also love using black India ink, which you've seen me do before. So now I thought I was done, and I realized that I needed some more color and a few more elements. So I'm grabbing the number stickers to write the word, and well, the number 7 years. And the first one I put on just didn't feel right. It was too skinny, and I like my numbers and letters to be bold, so I'm trying to pick it off with my acrylic nails, which always work against me when it comes to sticker work. So I changed my mind and picked the other pinky red 7, and I was much happier with that. And then I also outline some of these in my black, I think my black fine line, or maybe my Hobonichi freebie pen, just a way to make them stand out a little bit more, give them a bit more dimension. On the sticker sheet that Anna had provided, there's little graphic elements, little triangles and little dots, and I am such a sucker for graphic prints, and if I don't have stickers that are like that, I will draw them. But I saw them on the sticker sheet, and they might have been an afterthought for Anna, but they were like so cute, so I grabbed them and dotted them around that little section of my page, and I just loved them. You're coming to the end of my video now, and I want to remind you to please date your journal entries. I discovered a huge gaps of time in my last journal where I either didn't date or didn't write, and I couldn't work out what had happened. So date your journal entries. It is super important, just for peace of mind. So I'm using a stamp for the number 5 and to stamp for August. And I won't bore you with my journal writing. That will happen off camera. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it, and that it helps you realize that nothing is set in stone, and you're the creator of your journal pages, and you can do anything with your supplies. Just need your imagination. Take care. Bye. Oh, you are so onto it, girl. So onto it. And a pink pen. Ooh. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. So we have some alphabet stickers, and we have some puffy, I know there's a enamel shapes, and we have some cute little planner stickers. I might use those in my bullet journal, because my planner at the moment is so fail that my bullet journal is the only thing getting love at the moment. And these cute little ephemera, original artwork painted and drawn by Anna. So they're really nice, thick cards too. They feel awesome. Let me see if I can get them open on camera.